Hey, everyone. This is That Plant Life podcast, and I'm Dr. Nic, along with Rachel Renee. And today we have special guest, Braylon Graves. Yay! So, as you know, we're always encouraging you to stay rooted in wellness. And one of the things that we believe about that is that it is wellness and not just your mental health, but in your physical body. So we have Braylon here today to talk to us about your physical health, your physical body. So Braylon is from BeFit Training, but I'm representing Braylon today. With BeFit Training, Braylon is actually my personal trainer. And so we asked him to come on today to share some insight with us about how important it is to all aspects of our life. All right. So Braylon, welcome.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you.
Happy to be here.
All right. So let's start off. Before we get into all the questions, why don't you let people know exactly what you do and why you started?
Okay. So, of course, as Nicole announced, I am Braylon Graves. I am the owner and operator of BeFit Training. I've been training for about 6 years now. I've been training since 2019. And so I started training. Well, let's back up a little bit. I started working out in 2016, and it became a passion of mine. I actually enjoyed working out. I know that's funny to hear because some people say, but I actually enjoyed working out, and I just stayed consistent with it, and it just became a love of mine. And so fast forward to 2019, a friend of mine asked me to train her, and I was like, "No, I'm not a trainer." And she was like, "Come on, I'll be consistent. I'll show up every day." And I'm just like, "Nah, I don't think that's for me." And then she was like, "Well, I'll pay you." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow." And so I started training her, and I trained her for about 3 months while I was in Jonesboro, and she was able to see a lot of amazing results, and I enjoyed actually training her. And I was like, okay, maybe this can be something I do on the side. I was working at Target full time. I had been working at Target since 2012, so that was like my full time bread and butter from that time on, all throughout college and everything like that. And so it got to a point where I was training on the side, going to Target, training on the side, going to Target. And it was taking a tug at both. And I was thinking, I actually enjoy training, and Target is just paying the bills. So I'm like, I wonder if I, went full time with training, could, training pay the bills. So one day I took a leap of faith, and I took all my time off that I had accumulated at the job. It was like 5 weeks. And for those 5 weeks, I just trained, and I was able to open up my schedule more. Clients were able to come more, and I was able to get more revenue. So I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. So the day I went back to Target after my leave, I put in my 2 weeks, and that was in 2021. And I've been full time ever since then.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yes.
I love that. I don't think I knew that part of your story. So that's awesome. And I love that you it was something, because we've talked about this on other episodes about how when you have a passion for something, that it can turn into your income as well.
Yes.
And so you are another example of that, of just kind of taking that leap of faith, doing what you love, going after it, and now it's what you do, and it benefits others like
yes.
me. I've been working out with Braylon for a little bit over a year, right? Just over a year. So I won't tell you all my secrets about it, but
I just think that your story is so amazing, Braylon. And I just want to thank you for giving such a great and supportive space for my girl, Nicole, because I'm like that protective friend, So I'm like, who's this Braylon? No. No, but it's amazing to hear like what she shares about what you all are doing every week. And she always talks about like just how great you are at what you do. And I have so many questions for you. but I just want to rewind to the beginning of your story, because a lot of times when it comes to fitness, like it seems like the hardest thing to do is to get started.
Yes.
So like what motivated you to start like getting into your own personal fitness, and kind of what were the steps you took to become like consistent in your own journey with that?
Okay. So honestly, the reason I started working out is I was in college. I was a little skinny little thing when I was in college. And one day I was walking through the cafeteria and one of my friends stopped me and pulled me to the side. And I was like, "What's up?" And she was asking me, "How have I been? And am I okay?" And she was like really genuinely asking me and sounded concerned. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And she told me I looked a little like sick. And she didn't say it in a rude way or anything like that. She genuinely sounded concerned. And I was just like, "Oh my goodness." It's like, I knew I was skinny, but I didn't know I looked sick, but I told her I took no offense to it or anything like that. And honestly, I had a lot of friends working out at the time, and I had been thinking about starting to work out, but that was like the straw that broke the camel's back right there. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna start working out. So literally that next week, I started working out. And when I began my workout journey, I always knew with anything in life, you just have to be consistent with it in order to see results or in order to just be successful in that field. So from the beginning, I just always told myself I'm going to be consistent on days where I didn't feel like working out, on days where, it was really hard for me. Some days I would have to go after work. No matter what, I told myself, I would be consistent. And since then, I've just been consistent and just keeping that in my routine. And even if some days I can't give it my 100%, I may have to give it, 50% that day, but I still showed up at the end of the day. And so that consistency allowed me to see results, and those results motivated me and just kept me ongoing.
I love that. I love you saying that, sometimes you may not be able to do your full routine, your full program, but you can still do something. Yes. That's so good, because that itself can keep you going. Because I know sometimes when you miss a day or you miss 2 days, and then it's like, oh man, and it's like you almost like psych yourself out, because it's like, I already missed a day. I'm already, messing my whole thing up. So it kind of like messes with your mind if you skip a day when you establish your routine. So that's a good tip to give people, to just do something, even if you can't do the whole thing, do something. And I've definitely seen Nicole putting that into act. I'm like amazed. Like she's like every day going at it. And I'm like, yes, like so I can see like how working with you has helped her reach her goals, and how it's even like become like a lifestyle for her. Like every day she's doing something. It's amazing.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Braylon. Thank you, Braylon. I know, like this week it snowed here and iced a little bit, and it was like I wasn't at my house, so I was like at a different location during the storm, and so I remember when I knew I wasn't going to be at my house, so I knew it was probably going to be hard for me to get to Braylon. And so I was like, what can I do? And like, I can hear him. Braylon is like in my head sometimes. I hear him. And so I grabbed my, I made sure I had like all my protein powder, all my supplements, all my creatine and all that kind of stuff. And then I have, I do this like, I have a Pilates bar. And so I brought my Pilates bar, I brought all this stuff. And so it's like, even if I wasn't doing what I do with him, but I was trying to like move my body, and like I have my Apple Watch. I'm like, oh wait, I gotta move my rings. And I'm like, I'm always looking at these rings, like, oh my gosh, I gotta move my rings. And so that's thanks to Brett, because I was not like that before at all. I was not like that. So but ever since I met Braylon, that's what I do.
Yes, so yes. You want to make it a part of your lifestyle. It makes the process a lot easier for you, and it helps you along the way. One of my mottos, Nicole hears it all the time, is love the extra work. And that just means when you want to get to a certain point in life, you can't just do the standard or, just enough to get you by, especially if you want to be successful. So sometimes you have to put in that extra work, And when you try not to look at it as, I have to do this extra stuff, I got to do this, and try to change your mindset to, I get the opportunity to do these things and, love it. And so once you get, make it a part of your lifestyle and you change your mindset, like I said, it just makes the process a lot easier and it just helps you a lot along the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
agree.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, Braylon, one of the things that I have enjoyed being at your gym and working out with you is not just the working out. Like, that's fun. I love it now, but most of the time I love it. But it is the way that you kind of created this family and this community. I know Rachel hears me talk about it all the time because I'm like, I love it. I love everybody at the gym. And, and now like I'm starting to do things with people outside the gym because it's like I'm there. I try to be there 5 days, at least 5 days a week. So I'm there all the time. I'm there a lot. I'm there. And so I'm with these people. I see these people every day. But not only that, Braylon, I feel like you do a really good job of encouraging people to encourage one another and just kind of get together. And now you've started BeFit and Run and like the little walking running group where we get together. And I really appreciate that. And I know for me, it helps with just the camaraderie, and we're always talking about mental health, and it helps to have people who are on that same path with you, people who are focused in the same direction, and just really going after these physical goals and their health, but with the same mentality.
Yes.
And I love the way you have done that at the gym.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I'm so curious, Braylon, like, how did you get like that? Like, what influenced you or motivated you to know, like, I need to create community for people? Like, how did you know that that was important or needed or effective?
So honestly, I didn't know the impact that I was like building that community until about last summer when I started having my boot camps and stuff like that. So the previous gym, I've had my own gym for a year. It'll be 2 years in October. So about a year and 5-6 months now. And so the gym I trained at previously was a gym called APC Fitness. And I noticed how they were, everybody was a family in there, and I feel like maybe that got, kind of got those juices going and everything like that. We always made sure our clients were okay, because if you're not in a great mental state, it's hard for you to work out, so I have talks with my clients, sometimes me and Nicole will talk or she'll hear me talking and with some other clients, and we may not be talking about the gym. And so like a lot of times you have to get some things off your chest to actually be able to work out and have a good mental state. But as far as, like I said, the community, I honestly just being myself, and I noticed that I like working out with people. I noticed that working out with people motivates me. So I just encourage others to do that. So I feel like maybe that, spirit is just that it's just kind of rubbing off on me. And I encourage everybody to encourage each other. We have our little workout partners in each group and everything like that. So it does help the process. And I tell everybody, we are a family. We motivate each other. It's no type of gym intimidation in the gym. We all are, a lot of people, especially new people, they'll come to the gym and think that, they're about to be looking at me like, oh, what is she doing? And most of the time, if somebody see you struggling, they're either going to be struggling themselves or they were like, let's figure this out together, So, but I did tell myself in 2025 that I was going to actually be intentional about building my community this year, because like I said, it kind of just sprouted up about, so I always appreciate hearing that. And it's just been a blessing.
Well, that's amazing, because if it hasn't been intentional so far and it's this great, I can't wait to see what 2025 has in store, because you definitely, that just means it's a natural gift that you have, because you do a good job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you,
Yeah.
Nicole. Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah.
It's so important to have a great trainer. I've had 2 great trainers in my life, and if I was over there by Dr. Nic, I would be right in there with y'all. But I want to just talk. So it's like so Richard Marcus Taylor was one of my great trainers, and my sister, actually, Nikki Leverett. So those are my 2 great trainers, and they had totally different styles. So it's like with Marcus, I would come in, and if something was really hard, like if he like graduated me up to a new level of, a challenge, and I'm like, oh my God. And he'd be like, that sounds like a personal problem. Like, no empathy. It was like, oh, well, tough. Here you go. Do it, And then my sister, I said my sister was killing me softly, because she had like this sweet, soft voice. She's like, okay, now pick this up and do 4 of these. And it's like, what? Like, but they were both a mixture of this. So
I definitely kind of, I'm gonna have that soft voice, and you might tell me from yesterday, and I'm like, all right, well, you still got to do this week. So
that's so good. So Nicole and I were laughing one day, and I was just like, man, he probably hears like all kinds of excuses and complaints. So I was just wondering, like, what are the common or the funniest complaints or excuses you've ever heard, and how do you motivate people to get past that?
Oh, man, I hear excuses. And I'm not one of those trainers where I'm just like, no excuses, do it anyway. It depends on what you're telling me. I do see a difference between excuses and, reasoning. So if somebody's telling me they just got over a sickness, like, it's flu season. I have a lot of clients who have been sick, and they may have been out the previous week. So when they come back the week, next week, I'm not going to go as hard on them as, I would if they, hadn't been sick. But I hear excuses like my biggest pet peeve is probably tardiness. That's probably my biggest pet peeve. But I understand people have kids, people have, different lives and everything like that. But if I'm hitting a nickel for every excuse I got, I don't train no more. That
you be rich
every single day. Somebody telling me they overslept. Somebody, I did this weekend, and I'm just like, and I ask Nicole. Sometimes I'll just look at them, because I'm
like, really,
the Braylon look.
So it's really hard for people to make excuses to me and need to be empathetic about it, because I always know that it's a way to work around things. So if you're always late, say you're always 10 minutes late, and of course I'll let it slide a few times, but sometimes I'm like, okay, I may talk to you and be like, hey, what's going on? You may tell me, well, my son has to be at school at this time or something like that. And if it's something that we can't get around, then that's a different story. But most of the time, it's something where somebody can just set their alarm 5 minutes sooner. And, and I tell them that. I hold them accountable to things like that. Or if somebody's telling me that they don't eat in the morning, that's an excuse to me. And they would say that the reason they don't eat is because they're not hungry. And, me and Nicole had this conversation a long time ago. That's why she put her eyes. And so they will tell me, well, I don't eat in the morning because I'm not hungry in the morning. And I'll just break it down to them and tell them why they're not hungry in the morning. And we come up with a solution to move past it. Because at the end of the day, it is, I don't like to say everything is an excuse, but I understand that it's reasoning behind things. But that doesn't mean we're just going to be like, oh, I don't eat in the morning, so I'm going to just give up. No, we're going to come up with a solution, and we're going to work our way around it. So that's how I usually motivate people and, get them going past those reasonings or those excuses.
That's so good. How has Braylon motivated you, Dr. Nic?
I think Braylon is really encouraging. You know what? Braylon also uses humor a lot. Like every it's you see he uses humor. So it's like, you know, and he'll be dancing. Like he's Braylon, you know, when you're doing, we do like three three sets, right? 3 reps of our workout in a circuit. And so at each of those reps, usually, depending on what you're doing, you're going to go up in weight.
Yeah.
So Braylon will just like dance with the weight over.
Like, here you go.
Here you try to be so happy about adding this extra weight to your bar. You know, it's just, I think it's just very lighthearted. Although, you know, he's serious, it's still kind of lighthearted and it's fun. I think we have, you know, we do weigh-ins and he talks to us about, you know, like very intentionally about what's going on the scale. And it's not just about your weight. You know, he's kind of telling you the things to look for, which has helped me. And people like me, like, you know, Rachel, I'm very like, what do I have to do? How do I get this done? Let's stay in this thing. And so because he does that, I've kind of transitioned how I do things. And I really wasn't hungry in the mornings when I started working out with Braylon. It was really hard for me to eat. Now usually I wake up hungry now, but that took like, I don't know how long it took. I didn't really pay attention to how long it took, but it's a year and some months now, and I'm hungry in the morning now. So I have my protein shake or I have eggs or, you know, whatever, but I'm definitely eating something in the morning. Whereas before, when I started training, I wasn't. And I think now, this is another thing maybe Braylon can speak to, but in the beginning, I really wasn't seeing a lot of results. And I still, like, I kind of am in this like plateau area, like where I can't get out of this certain range. And I think in other situations, in other environments, I probably would have been really frustrated and really discouraged. But I haven't really felt that working with Braylon. Like, I know that sometimes it takes time. I know that there's things that I can tweak about it. And there's other things that I've noticed that have improved. Like when I first started with Braylon, I was in a lot of pain, like in my shoulder. I had a hip issue, and all of that stuff is pretty much gone away. Like, you know, I hardly had any strength in my left shoulder. All that's gone now. So even though I don't have like all of the numbers that I want, I see other things that have happened. You know, I've gotten better at the actual method of lifting. I've gotten stronger. I feel better. I have more energy. I've met people that I enjoy, you know, like, so it's like, to me, it's a whole picture. It's not just me changing my body, although that is important, but there's so many other things that I've gotten out of the year that I've been there as well. So
that's awesome.
And that's he's the leader. So it, you know, it trickles down from him to everybody else that goes there.
Yes.
What are some other benefits that you see your clients having, Braylon, from working with you consistently?
Okay. So outside of, I'm glad Nicole said that, because outside of working out is more than just changing the composition of how your body looks. That's most of the time, that's why we get into it. But along the way, you see that there's more to it. So, you know, working out does boost your endorphins. So you will notice you're in a better mood from working out. It helps things. We do a lot of functional exercises at the gym, and functional exercises are exercises that help you with your daily tasks and your daily living. So like a lot of people don't think like when you're sitting down in a chair from going up and down, you're squatting down. You know, sometimes we'll get up out of a chair and we're kind of like, you know, you can sit down for a while, and doing exercises like squats help with little things like that. Or we may be doing some deadlifts at the gym. you pick it up. So that translates to if you're at home and you're picking up a heavy box. Oh, you don't even think about it most of the time because it's so second nature from us doing it so much at the gym. But oh, let me brace my core before I pick up this heavy box. I've had clients tell me, one thing that I love hearing is when a client tell me that they don't have to take a certain medication anymore. So I've had a client tell me that their doctor took them off their blood pressure meds, so it helps with things in that nature. Clients tell me they're able to play with their kids longer. They're just able to live daily life better. And those are the things I love hearing because, like I said, outside of the seeing results, you working out is a lifestyle, and it does nothing but better your life and overall in every aspect. So if you can be consistent in the gym, then you can be consistent with this diet. And if you can be consistent with this diet, you can be consistent with this program that you have it going on at work, so it all translates, and, it help everything just works on top of each other. So those are a few of the, benefits that I see, outside of, like I said, the body change and the weight loss and things like that.
When someone comes in, they're kind of, I don't know, just maybe shy or sad even, or kind of like just what have you seen with that?
So I noticed that a lot. I would say about 60 to 50% of my clients want to start off with one-on-one training. And I have very little one-on-one training spots, but I'll let them come to the one-on-one training, and I always encourage them, hey, you should try a group out. My groups aren't your typical groups. And most people want to do that one-on-one training because they're shy. They don't want people looking at them. They think people are going to be judging them. So most of the time, I'll let them start off with a few one-on-one sessions, and I'll just be talking to them, motivating them, telling them how well they're doing, and, kind of boosting them up so that when they do transition over to the groups, that they feel a little bit more comfortable. I've had a bunch of clients who started off at one-on-one, and they just not want to try group at all. And then I told them, just one day, let's just try it out. Please, just try it out. And they try it out, and they like, this is not what I thought. And I feel like what we talked about earlier, just the environment of everybody being so friendly, everybody being such a family, that it makes them want to be a part of that as well. So they're like, oh, let me not sit over here and be antisocial. Let me kind of talk to the rest of the group, So I've seen a lot of changes where people start off as kind of really shy or self-conscious, and just being at the gym and just being around that camaraderie and being in that environment has kind of changed their outlook and made them more, extroverted, I would say. Mm-hmm. Yes. I love seeing that. That's another benefit that I love seeing as well, kind of boosting somebody's confidence. I've also seen clients who, they may wear like really baggy clothes to the gym all the time, which is fine. And then one day I'm like, they have like a little nice set on. And I'm like, oh, start wearing stuff like that. And they're like, I'm just talking about something different today. And that's another thing I noticed, like, okay, your confidence is building. I love seeing things like that as well.
That's so good. You reminded me of something that Nicole, you mentioned like way like early on when you first started working out with Braylon. I think you went to the group and you were noticing like these girls that I guess they have been working out with Braylon for a long time, and they like their bodies were like so like muscular and toned, athletic. You were like, oh my God, like if they're getting those results, just imagine what results I'm going to get. Like, I think that's another benefit of being in a group. Like you get to see people at different stages, and like you see other people that are maybe they're at your stage. They're starting out, brand new, and you see other people that have been working at it for a while. So you kind of get to see, what you're working toward. I think that's very cool.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is cool.
So what's next for you, Braylon? Like, is there anything like, are you looking to expand what you're doing? Have you recently launched anything new? I'd love to hear like what's going on in your empire.
Right now, I'm just expanding on my brand and the gym and everything I have going now. So as Nicole mentioned, I have my own run group. I just started that back in November. And so run group is a BeFit, but it is a separate entity from BeFit Training. And so, and I did that just so I can keep the name and the brand going, but I wanted people that aren't clients of mine to know that they're invited to the run group and that they can come run with us without being, one of my clients. And so that's one thing I'm working on expanding is my brand. I'm working on building my community more or being intentional about building my community. Cause like Nicole said, if I, kind of did this, uh, just being myself, then I told myself if I can be intentional about it, then the sky's the limit,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one thing I'm working on in 2025, and just continuing to keep leveling up in everything that I have going on now. I've only been in my gym for about a year and a half. I do have my next stepping stone. My next dream is to have a gym to where other trainers can be, in the gym as well. And the gym is still BeFit Training, but we have enough space in the gym to where they can have their clients over here in this corner. And then this trainer has his clients over here in this corner. And then I may have another space where people who want to do open gym, who don't want to do personal gym training, they can come in and train as well. And then I have my clients as well. And so
I
all,
was like,
I'm kind of thinking all income is coming in, the same boat, so that's my next stepping stone for, and that's a long down the line whenever God has that plan for me. But right now, I'm just being patient and just honestly being grateful for what I do have and just working on expanding on that and just getting bigger and better and better with my clients as well.
all right. I was making sure you said in my clients because I was
Yes.
like, don't you be leaving me.
Last but not least.
All right. I just have one more question before we kind of start to wrap it up. But Braylon, if there's someone out there who feels not only intimidated by the gym, but maybe they don't have the resources to go to the gym, but they know that they need to start moving in some way, what are some suggestions that you have that people could, kind of get into working on their physical health a little bit?
Okay. I always encourage people to at least walk. Walking is free. You can walk almost anywhere, so I always encourage people to start walking first. You will be surprised what walking would do for you, especially if you stay consistent with it. So that's the first thing when people tell me, hey, I want to come train, but I'm just trying to get my finances in order, or hey, I want to come train. What should I be doing before I start training? I always tell them, I ask them, are you working out now? And if they're telling me no, then I say, well, the first thing you need to do is get your body moving. You don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to start the weightlifting, because a lot of times people don't want to lift weights because they're intimidated that people are going to be looking at them or they're not going to do it right. So that's what you hire, me for, but so I tell them, for right now, just start getting your body moving, start somewhere. And I also encourage them, let's say they already started walking and now they want to take it up a notch. Then I'll tell them, sometimes I'll encourage them to get a membership at like a Planet Fitness and just start with some light lifting until they feel like they're ready for some personal training. Because as you know, it is challenging. I am going to push you. I am going to motivate you, but I know how sometimes it can be intimidating if you don't work out at all and then coming into a gym personal training set.
Right. Walking.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So I just want to thank you for what you're doing. Especially like just going back to that community aspect. Like Nicole and I, we talk a lot about friendship and relationships and building community and how important that is and how that impacts your wellness, like being part of community. So it's like not only are you offering a service that's helping people in their personal wellness, their health, but also that you're providing mental and emotional support by building this community around people. So you're like doing all these great things that just started out of, your own fitness journey. So that's just amazing to see how things just grow and develop and how you're able to touch all these people's lives. Like, it's just so amazing. Like, is there anything else you want to share, just to encourage people? And along with that, how can people get in touch with you?
Okay. So the one message I would leave with people is to get somewhere, you have to start somewhere. So you can, keep procrastinating, telling yourself, I'm gonna do this tomorrow, I'm gonna do this the next day. But I always tell people, if you want to see a change, you have to make a change. So that's the thing I would like to leave with the people, you guys, and everybody. And if anybody wants to get in contact with me, they can either go straight to Google and Google BeFit Training and get some information from there. Or if they want to contact me, my number is 501-442-5883. And if I don't answer, you can always leave me a message, or you can text me. And I'm also on social media on Instagram at bgraves_1 and also bfit.littlerock.
All right. We will have all that information in the show notes for everyone. Thank you so much, Braylon. You've been such an amazing guest. So we'll have to have you back to give some more fitness tips and stuff in the future.
Yeah, maybe we'll be in the gym. We'll go in the gym
on vacation.
I would love that. We can definitely do a part 2. Just let me know. I would love that.
Yes, that is so good. Thank you so much for your time. I know you have a lot going on, so we really appreciate you taking this time to talk with us.
No problem. Yes. Anything for Nicole.
Oh. Love it. And thank you to all of our listeners and watchers of the podcast. We hope you enjoyed this conversation. We have so much more we're going to be bringing to you. So remember to like, share, and subscribe at That Plant Life Podcast across social media. And remember to stay rooted in wellness.
Yes. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.